Hello. I am the gravedigger, and today I have the privilege of telling you about someone who was very special to me. That was Mr. Field, Mr. Erland Field. Let me tell you, he was something else. He had the pharmacy here in town, started it after he got back from the war, the Great War. And well, he and I, we've kind of shared a lot over the years. He took care of everything and everyone, whether they had a bee sting, needed some Brill cream for their hair, or if the ladies were looking to give themselves a home permanent, a Tony. He bandaged them up, he made them look good, and he took away their pain. And he helped make their kids feel better when he could. They thought he could perform miracles, and maybe he could, but he couldn't do that in the trenches, although he wanted to. He joined up in 1915, the Canadian Army Medical Corps on June the 21st, 1915, and right here at Niagara Camp. He got his diploma from the Ontario College of Pharmacists in 1913, right before the war started. And then, when he was 25, he signed up, and they signed him up as a druggist. And 5 months later, he was overseas. The Army didn't waste any time. He started off as a private in the 2nd Field Ambulance, B section. And after that, he was part of the 5th Canadian Field Ambulance Unit. By then, he was called a dispenser. And dispense he did sodium hypochlorite and boric acid for just about everything. And he told me that he lost count of the number of doses of tetanus antitoxin he'd given out before he got sick too. Diphtheria, tonsillitis, and influenza. He ended up in a hospital back in Kent, back in England. But like so many others, once he was better, he was sent straight back to the front. That was in 1917, and he was assigned to the 1st Canadian Casualty Clearing Station. And that's where we met, right behind the front lines and just beyond the range of the guns. Casualties were taken there first, if we were lucky, and if the stretcher bearers could get us there. We were tagged and stabilized, and then either sent back to the front or sent back to the field hospitals. And if they thought they couldn't do either, well, then you were moved aside to die. They had to make that decision fast. And that's where I met Earl. You see, I was being moved aside until Earl came to save me. He used to wonder why he got a Good Conduct Medal. And then when he got the promotion to Lance Corporal, he told me he felt the irony of it all. But he always wanted to remember those he couldn't help and to help those he could. And that's why he became one of the founders of our local Legion here, Branch 124. That was back in 1928, and it's still going strong today. He said to me that we needed to do something for the lads because we needed a place to go. We needed a place that we could just be. And we needed a place where we didn't have to explain anything. It was just Earl's way of saying thank you. And that's what he wanted to do. Oh, and then he took over the apothecary, the pharmacy on Queen Street. It's still there at the corner of King and Queen. And it's pretty darn famous. That name of his, Field's Drugs, was in the window for 42 years, from 1922 to 1964. And that pharmacy You know, it's been there for 150 years. He got a good deal on it when he got it from old Arthur Coyne, who got it from John DeWolf Randall, and he got it from Henry Pafford, who, by the way, put in all those large trees you see in town, and he was our longest serving mayor ever. Earl loved that pharmacy, the bottles and jars and pots, and the countertops and the cabinets made of black walnut and butternut. How beautiful a pharmacy is that. But you know what old Coyne did? He kept over 200 of the original glass bottles and containers that dated right back to the very first days of the pharmacy. And you'll be pleased to know that they're back there now, most of them, back in Earl's pharmacy. He would be so pleased. And he'd also be very proud because it's now a museum, and it's also a National Historic Site. He would be so proud, and that's what he had hoped for. Another way that he wanted to say thank you. That was Erland Field. But you know what? Maybe I could use some more Bro Cream, or maybe some hair. Anyway, hey, Earl,